I was sitting in my recliner watching Wheel of Fortune when my phone rang. The number showed Melissa Mobile, and I smiled. My middle child didn't call as often as I'd like, maybe once every 2 weeks if I was lucky. She lived up in Charlotte, worked in real estate, always busy with showings and open houses. "Hi, sweetheart," I said, muting the television. "Mum, oh my God, Mum, pack your bags." Her voice was shrill with excitement, almost manic. "We're going to Switzerland tomorrow. First class. I already booked the tickets." I chuckled, thinking she was joking around. Melissa had always been the dreamer of my 3 children, the one who talked about Paris and Venice while her brother Jeffrey was content fishing at Lake Moultrie. "That's nice, honey. What's the occasion?" "I sold the beach house, the one in Folly Beach that you never use anymore. Mum, I got $470,000 for it. Can you believe that? The market is insane right now." The smile died on my face. My hand tightened around the phone. "What? I know. I should have told you first, but I wanted it to be a surprise. You always said you wanted to see the Alps, remember? Well, now we can. The money already came through, and after I pay off your medical bills and Melissa," my voice came out sharper than I intended. Melissa stopped talking for a minute. She went quiet. In the background, I could hear traffic noise, car horns. She was driving, probably heading home from work, planning our imaginary Swiss vacation in her head. "Sweetheart, I don't own that house anymore." Silence. "Then what?" "I sold the Folly Beach house 2 years ago. In January of 2023. I needed the money for my surgery and the hospital bills that Medicare didn't cover. Don't you remember? I told all of you kids about it." "No." Her voice was flat now, defensive. "No, Mum, you didn't sell it. I have the deed right here. I found it in your storage unit last month when I helped you organise. It has your name on it, Patricia Ann Whitmore. That's you, my maiden name. I'd kept it after Harold died, never remarried, stayed Patricia Ann Whitmore for 43 years of widowhood. But that deed she was looking at had to be old, from before the sale. Melissa, listen to me carefully. That's an old deed. I sold that house to a couple named Bradley and Shannon Morrison. They're from Atlanta. I haven't owned that property in 2 years. You're confused, Mum." Her tone shifted, became gentle in that awful patronising way people use with elderly folks they think are losing their minds. "It's okay, you're 81. Sometimes we forget things. But I have all the paperwork right here, and I worked with a title company, and everything went through properly. The buyers wired the money this morning." Ice flooded my veins. What buyers? A family from Ohio. The Johnsons, they fell in love with the place, wanted to close quickly. "Mum, I know what I'm doing. I'm a licensed realtor, remember. I closed my eyes. Dear Lord, give me patience." "Melissa, who did you work with?" "What title company?" I heard papers rustling. "Coastal Carolina Title Services. They contacted me after I listed the property. They handled everything. Very professional. I didn't recognize the name, but that didn't mean much. What I did know, with a sinking certainty that made my chest tight, was that my daughter had been scammed. Or worse, she'd somehow tried to sell a house. She had no right to sell, and now there would be legal consequences." "Where's the money now?" I asked. "In my account." "Well, most of it. I had to pay some closing costs and transfer fees, about 30,000, but that's normal. The rest is safe." "Mum, why are you acting like this?" "I did something good. I took care of this for you." "Melissa," I stood up from my recliner, my hip protesting. "I need you to stop spending any of that money right now. Don't buy any plane tickets, don't pay any bills, don't touch it." "But I already..." "How much have you spent?" A pause. "Maybe 60,000. The Switzerland tickets were expensive, and I paid off that credit card you had, and I sent some of the closing costs, and there were some processing fees for the international wire transfer." "Oh, Melissa," my knees felt weak. I sat back down heavily. Oh, sweetheart, what have you done? Stop it, her voice cracked, defensive and hurt. Stop treating me like I'm stupid. I know you don't think I'm as smart as Jeffrey with his engineering degree or April with her nursing career, but I'm good at my job, Mum. I did this right. I have all the documentation. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm saying you've been tricked. Or I hesitated, not wanting to say it. Or you tried to sell property that doesn't belong to me anymore, which is illegal. I'm hanging up now. She was crying, I could hear it. I'm hanging up and I'm going to call Jeffrey and he'll explain to you that you're confused. Maybe you need to see a doctor, Mum. Maybe we need to talk about memory care. The line went dead. I sat there in my small living room, surrounded by the modest furniture I'd accumulated over decades, Harold's old reading chair that I couldn't bear to throw away, the coffee table Jeffrey made in high school shop class, the framed photos of my grandchildren on every surface. On the TV, a contestant was solving the puzzle. I didn't even see what it was. My phone rang again. Jeffrey, Mum, what's going on? Melissa just called me sobbing, saying you're confused and don't remember selling the beach house to her. Jeffrey, I didn't sell it to her. I sold it 2 years ago to the Morrisons. You know this, you helped me move out of there. I know, Mum. I was there. I helped you pack up the kitchen, remember? His voice was steady, calm. Jeffrey had always been my rock, the responsible one. What exactly did Melissa tell you? I explained the whole thing, the supposed sale, the wire transfer, the Switzerland tickets. With each detail, I heard Jeffrey's breathing get heavier. Jesus Christ, he muttered when I finished. He never cursed unless he was really upset. Mum, she's either been scammed or she's committed fraud. Maybe both. Don't say that. It's true. If she represented herself as the owner or your authorized agent and tried to sell property you don't own, that's illegal. And if someone tricked her into thinking she was selling it, then she's lost that money, it's gone to scammers and she'll never see it again. Either way, this is bad. I felt tears prick my eyes. She thought she was helping me. She should have asked you first. Mum, this is insane. How did she even find buyers? How did this whole thing happen without you knowing? She said she found the old deed in my storage unit. She must have thought it was current. But didn't she wonder why you never talked about the house? Why you haven't been there in 2 years? I didn't have an answer for that. The truth was, Melissa and I hadn't talked much lately. She was busy. I was busy with physical therapy and helping Jeffrey's wife, Crystal, with the grandkids. Our conversations were brief, surface level. I'd mentioned selling the beach house when it happened, sent an email to all 3 kids, but maybe Melissa had been distracted, hadn't read it carefully, forgotten over time. I need to call the Morrisons, I said, the real owners. They need to know someone's trying to sell their house. I'll do it, Jeffrey said. You still have their number? In my address book. Jeffrey, what's going to happen to Melissa? He sighed, long and heavy. I don't know, Mum, but we need to call the police. This is fraud, identity theft, something. Those scammers need to be reported. But if we report it, Melissa gets in trouble too. She's already in trouble. Mum, she tried to sell a house she doesn't own. The Morrisons could press charges. The Real Estate Commission could pull her license. This is serious. April called 20 minutes later. My youngest, my firecracker, the one who inherited my temper. Mum, I just talked to Jeffrey. What the hell is Melissa thinking? April, language. Sorry, but seriously, how stupid can she be? She just randomly decides to sell your house without asking you. She thought she was surprising me with a vacation you can't even take because you just had hip surgery 6 months ago. Did she think about that? Did she think about anything? I rubbed my temples. A headache was building behind my eyes, the kind that settled in for days. She made a mistake. A mistake. Mum, she committed fraud. She stole from those people in Ohio. She didn't steal. She was tricked. Then she's an idiot and a criminal. April's voice was rising. I'm sorry, but I'm tired of making excuses for her. Melissa has always been like this impulsive, thoughtless, doing whatever she wants without considering consequences. Remember when she quit her job to join that pyramid scheme? Or when she bought that boat she couldn't afford? Now she's dragged you into her mess. That's enough. My voice came out sharp, the mother voice I hadn't used in years. She's your sister. She's a disaster. I closed my eyes. My 3 children had always had complicated relationships with each other. Jeffrey, the eldest, steady and reliable. April, the youngest, brilliant and judgmental. And Melissa, caught in the middle, always trying too hard to prove herself, always falling short in her siblings' eyes. I need you to be kind, I said quietly. Whatever happens next, I need you to remember that we're family. Family doesn't commit fraud using their mother's name. After she hung up, I sat in silence for a long time. Outside my apartment window, the Charleston evening settled in, the sky turning that particular shade of purple-orange that I'd always loved. Somewhere in this city, my daughter was probably crying, convinced that I was losing my mind. Somewhere else, the real owners of my old beach house had no idea their property was being sold out from under them. And somewhere in the digital ether, scammers were laughing as they moved Melissa's money through untraceable accounts. I thought about the beach house, the way it looked the last time I'd been there. The weathered dock stretching into the inlet, the screened porch where I'd drunk coffee every morning for 15 years, the bedroom where Harold and I had planned to retire together before cancer took him at 53. I'd loved that house. Selling it had felt like losing Harold all over again. But I'd made peace with it. I'd moved forward. I'd chosen to be grateful for what I had, rather than bitter about what I'd lost. Now Melissa was forcing me back into that grief, but worse, she was adding chaos, legal trouble, family division, and she didn't even realise what she'd done. My phone buzzed. A text from Jeffrey, called the Morrisons. They're freaking out. They got contacted by a title company today about selling. They thought it was spam. Now they know it's fraud. They're calling their lawyer. My heart sank lower. Another text, Mum, we need to go to the police station tomorrow. First thing, this has to be reported officially. I typed back slowly, my arthritic fingers clumsy on the touchscreen. What about Melissa? The response came quickly. What about her? She did this to herself. I set the phone down and walked to my bedroom, each step a reminder of my age, my limitations, my mortality. On my dresser sat a photo from 30 years ago, me and Harold and our 3 children at the beach house, the day we closed on it. Melissa was 12, grinning gap-toothed at the camera, her hair whipping in the ocean wind. She'd loved that house more than anyone. Maybe that was why she couldn't let it go. Maybe in her mind that house still belonged to us, to the family we'd been before Harold died, before everything got hard. I picked up the photo and studied my daughter's young face. Even then I could see it, the dreamer, the believer, the girl who wanted magic in a world that mostly offered hard work and disappointment. Oh, Melissa, I whispered, what am I going to do with you? My phone rang again. Melissa, I answered. Mum, her voice was small, childlike. Mum, I think something's wrong. What happened? The title company called. They said there's a problem with the buyer's financing and they need me to send another 20,000 for some kind of insurance bond. But she was crying now, really crying. But I looked them up and I can't find them registered anywhere, and the website looks fake now that I really look at it. And Mum, I think maybe I did something really bad. I closed my eyes. Where are you right now? In my car, outside my apartment. I can't go inside. I can't face this. Come home, I said. Come to Charleston. Come home right now. But Jeffrey, never mind, Jeffrey. Come home to me. We'll figure this out together. A long silence. Then very quietly, I'm sorry, Mama. I hadn't heard her call me Mama in 20 years. I know, baby. Just drive safe. Come home. After we hung up, I called Jeffrey back. She's coming here, I told him. Tomorrow we'll all sit down and deal with this together. Mum, the police can wait one day. My daughter needs me. Your daughter committed. One day, Jeffrey. Give me one day to try to save my child before we destroy her. He agreed reluctantly, and I spent the rest of the evening waiting, praying without exactly meaning to. asking God or the universe or whoever might be listening to help me find a way through this that didn't end with Melissa in handcuffs or my family shattered beyond repair. Around midnight, I heard a car in the parking lot. Through my window, I watched Melissa get out, moving slowly like someone in a dream. She looked up at my apartment, and even from this distance, I could see she'd been crying for hours. I opened my door before she could knock. She stood there, my 52-year-old daughter, looking exactly like she had at 12 when she'd broken Harold's favourite fishing rod, and came to confess, terrified, sorry, hoping for mercy. "I messed up," she whispered. "I know, I messed up so bad, Mum. The money's gone, all of it. And I used my savings for the closing costs, and I bought the plane tickets, and Her face crumpled. "I don't own the house, do I? You really sold it 2 years ago. I really sold it 2 years ago. I'm going to jail." I pulled her inside, wrapped my arms around her as she sobbed into my shoulder, this grown woman who'd forgotten how to ask for help, who'd tried to give me the world and ended up losing everything. "Not if I can help it," I said, but I had no idea if that was a promise I could keep. Melissa slept on my couch that night, curled up under Harold's old Afghan, like she used to do as a teenager after a bad breakup. I sat in the kitchen drinking chamomile tea, staring at the stack of papers she'd brought. Fake contracts, fake wire confirmations, fake everything. The scammers had been thorough. They'd created an entire title company website, complete with stock photos of smiling employees and testimonials. At 6 a.m, Jeffrey showed up without calling first. He had that look on his face, the one he got when he was about to fix something, whether you wanted him to or not. "She here?" he asked, stepping inside. "Sleeping." He glanced at the couch, at Melissa's shape under the blanket, and his jaw tightened. "The Morrisons want to press charges." My stomach dropped. Against Melissa, against whoever tried to sell their house. They don't know it was her yet. Their lawyer says it's fraud, possibly identity theft, since someone used your name. "Mum, if we don't tell the police everything, we're obstructing justice. She didn't know the house was sold. Doesn't matter. She forged your signature on documents. She accepted money for property she didn't own." He ran his hand through his hair, a gesture so much like his father, it hurt. "I talked to a lawyer friend last night. Melissa could face prison time." The word hung in the air between us. Prison. There has to be another way. There isn't. He sat down at my small kitchen table, looked at me with those serious brown eyes. "Mum, I love her too, but she broke the law, multiple laws. And even if the Morrisons don't press charges, the people in Ohio who sent her money definitely will when they figure out they've been scammed." "They were scammers themselves," I said. "There are no people in Ohio. She doesn't know that yet. She still thinks they were real buyers." He leaned forward. "Mum, she drained her entire savings account. She's got nothing left. And when those fake title people ask for more money, because they will, what do you think she'll do?" I didn't answer because I knew Melissa would borrow, would take out loans, would dig herself deeper trying to fix what couldn't be fixed. "We need to go to the police today," Jeffrey said. "This morning. Get ahead of it before the Morrisons file their own report." Melissa's voice came from the living room. "I'll go." We both turned. She was sitting up now, the Afghan pulled around her waist, her hair a mess, her face puffy from crying. "I'll tell them everything," she said. "It's my fault. I should have called you, Mum. I should have verified. I got excited and stupid, and I wanted to do something big for you, something that would make you proud." "Melissa, no, let me finish." She stood up, came into the kitchen. "I've always been the screw-up. Jeffrey's the smart one, April's the successful one, and I'm the one who tries too hard and fails. The beach house was supposed to change that. I was going to give you this amazing trip, pay off your bills, show everyone I could take care of you." Her voice cracked. "But I can't even do that right." Jeffrey started to say something, but I held up my hand. "Sit down," I told Melissa. She sat. I looked at both of them, my children, middle-aged now, but still fighting the same battles they'd fought at 12 and 15 and 20. Still trying to prove things to each other, to me, to themselves. Here's what's going to happen, I said. We're going to the police station, all three of us. Melissa's going to tell them exactly what happened. Then we're going to call the Morrisons and explain that this was a mistake, that Melissa was scammed along with everyone else. And then we're going to figure out how to make this right. Mum, we can't make $400,000 appear out of nowhere, Jeffrey said. The money's gone, I agreed, but Melissa's career doesn't have to be. Her life doesn't have to be. The Real Estate Commission will pull her license when they find out. Maybe, but if she self-reports, if she shows she was a victim too, maybe they'll show mercy. I looked at Melissa. You'll probably lose your license for a while. You'll have to find other work, but that's better than prison. She nodded, tears sliding down her face. April showed up an hour later after Jeffrey called her. She came in already angry, ready to fight, but something in my expression stopped her. We're going to the police, I said before she could start, as a family, and you're going to be civil. The police station smelled like floor cleaner and old coffee. A detective named Marcus listened to Melissa's story, his expression neutral. He took notes, asked questions, didn't judge out loud, but I could see him thinking it. How could someone be this careless? When Melissa finished, he sat back in his chair. Miss Whitmore, you understand, you attempted to sell property you didn't own. Yes, sir. And you accepted nearly $500,000 for that property. Yes, sir. But I didn't keep it. Most of it went to the scammers, and I thought, what you thought doesn't change what you did. He looked at me. Mrs. Whitmore, do you want to press charges against your daughter? The room went silent. No, I said. The actual property owners might feel differently. I'll talk to them. He closed his notebook. I'm going to be honest with you folks. This is a mess. The FBI handles wire fraud, so they'll probably get involved. The Real Estate Commission will definitely get involved. Best case scenario, your daughter loses her license and has to pay restitution she doesn't have. Worst case, federal charges. Melissa made a small sound, almost a whimper. But, he continued, the fact that she came in voluntarily, that she's cooperating, that she was clearly a victim herself, that helps. I'll note all of it in my report. We left the station 2 hours later. Melissa looked shell-shocked. April was quiet for once. Jeffrey kept checking his phone, probably texting his lawyer friend. I called the Morrisons from my apartment. Bradley answered. Mrs. Whitmore, yes, I need to explain what happened. I told him everything, and to my surprise, he listened. When I finished, there was a long pause. Your daughter really thought she owned the house. She found an old deed. She got confused. She was trying to do something nice for me. She committed fraud. She made a terrible mistake. Another pause. Then my wife and I will discuss it. But Mrs. Whitmore, we could have lost our home because of this. Someone could have filed false liens, clouded the title. This isn't just a mistake. I know, and I'm so sorry. We'll call you back. They did, 3 days later. They wouldn't press charges, but they wanted assurances that Melissa would never work in real estate again, at least not in South Carolina. They wanted documentation of everything, wanted the police reports, wanted proof this wouldn't happen again. We gave them all of it. The Real Estate Commission suspended Melissa's license pending investigation. The FBI opened a case on the scammers but told us frankly that the money was gone, untraceable, already moved through a dozen offshore accounts. Melissa had to sell her car to cover the credit card bills she'd racked up paying fake closing costs. She moved in with me temporarily, sleeping on that couch, looking for work. April barely spoke to her. Jeffrey was polite but distant. My family was fracturing, and I didn't know how to stop it. One night, about 3 weeks after everything fell apart, Melissa and I were eating dinner, just spaghetti, nothing fancy, when she said, "You should hate me." I don't hate you. April does. Jeffrey does. They're hurt. They'll come round. Why don't you hate me, Mum? She looked up and her eyes were so tired. I almost sent you to jail. I ruined your relationship with the people who bought your house. I embarrassed the whole family. Why are you still being nice to me? I thought about it for a moment, twirling spaghetti on my fork. You know what I learnt when your father died, I said finally. I learnt that being right doesn't keep you warm at night. Being right doesn't bring people back. Being right doesn't heal anything. I set down my fork. You made a mistake, a big one, but you're my daughter and I love you, and that doesn't change because you did something stupid. Jeffrey says, Jeffrey's not your mother. I am. She started crying again, but this time it was different, quieter, more relieved than devastated. I'm going to fix this, she said. I don't know how, but I will. I know you will. It took 6 months. Melissa got a job managing a storage facility. Not glamorous, but steady. She paid back every penny she'd spent from my accounts, even though I told her not to worry about it. She went to therapy, dealt with the impulsiveness that had always gotten her in trouble. She stopped trying to prove herself and just lived. April eventually softened, invited Melissa to her daughter's birthday party. Jeffrey took longer, but one day he showed up at my apartment with Melissa's favourite takeout and said, "Want to watch the game?" And that was his way of saying he forgave her. The FBI never found the scammers. I didn't expect them to. One Sunday morning, Melissa drove me to church. I'd started going again, not because I'd suddenly gotten religious, but because I needed the quiet. Afterward, we got coffee and sat in the parking lot watching people come and go. I'm thinking about going back to school, she said. Maybe becoming a teacher, something where I can help people without, accidentally committing fraud. I laughed. It felt good to laugh about it. You'd be a good teacher. You think I know. We sat there a while longer, drinking our coffee, not needing to fill the silence with words. My daughter had lost her career, her savings, her pride, but she'd found something else, something harder to name, but more valuable. She'd found herself, I think, the real version, not the one trying to impress everyone. As for me, I learnt something too. At 81, I thought I knew everything about love and forgiveness and family, but it turned out I still had lessons to learn. Sometimes the hardest thing isn't forgiving people who hurt you on purpose. It's forgiving people who hurt you while trying to love you. We finished our coffee and drove home through Charleston streets I'd known for decades. The city looked the same as always, but I saw it differently now. Less certain, maybe. More willing to accept that things don't always go according to plan, that people mess up, that grace matters more than justice most of the time. Melissa never did get to Switzerland, but one day a few years from now when she's saved enough we'll go together. Not first class, probably just coach. And it won't be this grand gesture she imagined. It'll just be a mother and daughter taking a trip, grateful for second chances and the long road that led them there. That's enough for me.